Some information before we get started with our news conference. Are we on? Okay. Some information before we get started with the news conference. As a courtesy to our student athletes and coach, please turn your phones off. And when you ask your questions for the student athletes, we'll take them first, by the way. We'll give them the first 5 minutes of the news conference. When you ask the questions of the student athletes, please identify which one of the student athletes you want to ask or answer the question. If you want all three, that's perfectly okay, but please tell the order you want, because we are doing the quotes remotely with ASAP, and it's very difficult for the typist to be able to figure out how to do that. So if you would take care of that. If you have any special requests, please see SID Alicia Pope for special requests. And the locker room is open, and if you have any need to go to the locker room, I think it's that way. When you go up to the top of the stairs, you turn to the left. And it's just around the corner. It's not too terribly far. Just some general information about tomorrow. Baylor University will have their news conference beginning at 11 o'clock in this room, and then at 11:20, I believe it is, they start the one-on-ones. The Oregon State news conference will be here tomorrow at 1:10 to 1:25, and then I believe at 1:30 they start the one-on-ones. So if you're going to be here tomorrow, that's what you'll need to do. I'm sorry? Yes. 30 minutes, but that started a couple of minutes ago. Actually, it started about 8 minutes ago. So okay, our student athletes and coach are on their way, so they should be here in a moment or two. We're now joined by the DePaul Blue Demons, the head coach, Doug Bruno, his three student athletes, Shanice Jenkins, Jessica January, and Megan Podkowa. Sorry. Coach, your thoughts after the game?
Well, first of all, I just want to acknowledge how good a basketball team Oregon State is. That's a really talented basketball team that we played tonight. They're the number one, number two for a reason, and they have very, very talented players, and they're a very well-coached basketball team. So we lost to a very, very good team tonight. And then, you know, I've been blessed to coach many, many great and talented players through my life as a coach at DePaul. And I've also been blessed to coach some really, really good people. And sitting next to me here, this is the true senior day. You know, everybody has senior day at campus, but this true senior day is the last game of seniors' careers. And so Shanice Jenkins and Megan Podkowa are sitting next to me, and they're really two special seniors, and Jessica January is a special junior. And, you know, I think I've been blessed to coach these really special people, and DePaul's been blessed to have them in our program. I just can't say enough about what they've done for our program. And they're the first set of seniors to graduate that's helped our team go to 2 Sweet 16. So they have done something that nobody else has been able to achieve. And as I told them a few minutes ago, you know, they've given themselves, they've given each other, and they've given DePaul a very, very great season. We wish we were playing on Monday night. And make no mistake about it, that it's not fun to be on the bottom side of a score. But at the same time, you know, they've left it out there tonight, and I'm really, really proud of them as people. And you know, it's going to be hard to replace these two special seniors.
Okay, we'll take questions for our student athletes first. If you'll put your hand up and give your name and your affiliation, we'd appreciate that. On the left side.
Hi, Jim Nooner from Scott. Question for Megan Podkowa. Are there any particular reasons why you weren't able to get going offensively tonight, you personally?
Yeah, I think I wasn't really looking for my shot. I just wasn't focused.
I think she was focused. Megan did a great job playing defense. She had a hard matchup. It's not like she did not want to take the shots. They had a good defensive team. And I think, you know, as Coach said, we all left it out on the floor. And the only reason we're crying is because we can't come back with the team next year, and we're going to really miss this team. And Megan should never feel like she played any part in this loss.
We got a question on the inside middle.
Lee Michelson, Hoopbeat. This question is for Shanice and also for Megan. As you look back on your career at DePaul, do you have any what we used to call Kodak moments? That moment that maybe 20 years from now you want to describe to your daughter that was really special in this career? And if Shanice would answer first and then Megan.
Special moments. I think myself first committing to DePaul, being in a conference room with, you know, the current DePaul players that were there, and just verbally committing to Coach Bruno and the team. And then I don't know, every game we've won, every behind-the-scene party or action we've ever had in our dorm rooms, just every single moment that I've had, that it doesn't matter if it was sad or happy or anything like that. I cherished every single moment with my teammates, and I couldn't thank them enough for the amazing 5 years I've had at DePaul.
Yeah, I think my whole career has been amazing here. Obviously the Sweet 16s and the tournament championships, but like Shanice said, everything that happens behind the scenes that you don't get to see.
Got a question on the front left.
Jessica, Shanice just mentioned that Oregon State's obviously a very good defensive team. What specifically is it about their scheme that's tough to score against?
Well, first of all, I would say their length. Obviously, they're a lot bigger than us, so that made it a little difficult to get to the rim as easy as we do in other games. But just, I don't know, they're just a good team all around. They own their matchups pretty well, and they're just really aggressive.
Anything else for our student athletes?
before the players leave, I guess I just want to make sure that I'm not supposed to answer. It was a player's question, Jim, and you know, Oregon State really does, and I want Megan to hear it. That's why I'm answering before she leaves, because you know this is a really, really good defensive basketball team, and they have the ability to not have to help because they have a 6'6" person back in the middle of the paint that can really protect things. So when you ask the question, what made it so difficult for Megan to get going tonight, that's a really pretty simple reason. They're basically, she had to play against two people, because every time you get anywhere away from your own man, you got the 6'6" kid waiting for you. So, you know, and again, I think Shanice did a good job of helping with that answer. So.
Okay, ladies, thank you very much. We'll let you go back to the locker room. We'll take questions for Coach. Questions for our coach. Got a question on the front left.
Doug, Jamie Weisner scored 38 points tonight. Just from your perspective, what did you see that she was doing well throughout the game to get her shot?
She got off to a great start. I mean, we were sitting on 9-5, and then we got stuck. They stuck us on 9, and she got off to a great start. And we were trying to do everything in our power to not let her have open looks. And she and Weiss both got off to great starts. I think they had, I don't know, 30 of the first 33 or something ridiculous like that. You know, at the end of the game there, we're chasing. I mean, she probably picked up another 9, you know, once the game was not out of hand, but the only way we could get it back was to chase, and we're going to leave people open at that point. That's the gamble you have to make when you're chasing 10 inside 6, 7 minutes, 5 minutes. So I think she picked up a good, strong 9 at the end there. So we tried a lot of different things. She's a very good player. She's the player of the year in the Pac-12 conference, and for a reason. And, you know, it's just not an easy match for us when you got to try to guard the 6'6" at the basket and also come back out and make sure that the perimeter doesn't get off on you. We went some zone early, and that didn't happen. I mean, our pressure was designed to wear them out. I thought we finally got the two of them to miss some shots. You know, they weren't shooting with the same proficiency as the game moved along as they did when the game started, but they were just really, really two very good basketball players.
Question in the middle.
Coach, as you just pointed out, you went to the zone early on and then stepped up the pressure late in the game. Were you surprised with the ability of this team to pass out of that pressure successfully?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. They're a good team. These are good guards. They're big, long, and they're talented guards, so it didn't surprise me at all. And we've moved away from our pressure this year because this team has defined itself as more of a execution-based team, our team. So, you know, we went to the pressure late in the game, and you know, you're at that point in your mind where, at what point in time do I want to start scrambling this thing? You know, and as it's getting into 12 and 14 in the second half, if you still want to try to chip it back, and at the same time there comes a point in time where you have to try to chase it back. And you know, they're just really, really good guards. They're really talented guards.
Question on the front right. Go ahead.
Doug, Jenkins had a tough time getting going offensively. How much of that was Hanson and Oregon State's defense?
Well, again, they have the ability to guard you without help, and that's the best way to play defense. If you don't have to help, then every player can own their own matchup, and Hanson's a really, really good defensive player. And again, I keep coming back to the presence that they have in the middle. When you get to the baskets, you know, we got to the basket a couple times early and didn't have the patience to use Hamlin's shot blocking ability against her to show the ball and get the ball back out to an open player. And that's really what created so much offensive difficulty for us. You know, our attacking later was in a, you know, don't forget Hamlin was out of the game later too. You know, we're going to the basket late, and everybody can sit there, well, why weren't we doing that all game? Well, because Hamlin was on the floor. I mean, Hamlin was on the floor much more of the game. She's a very, very big player. That's why the grand pivots matter in the game. Our own George Mikan started all this, and post players today are starting to become, you know, so much more guard skilled that you don't think about them and coaches lament the fact that we've lost the traditional post. I don't lament it. I think it's made the game better that post players have guard skills, but still big is big. You know, that's, you know, 7-footers in men's basketball and 6'6" in women's basketball. It's a great advantage, and I think she was very key to the game. I think she's key to they're totally key to their defense. That's why their defense is so good, because they can guard their own and own their own matchup. And then and Hansen and you know, Weisner are all really, really good defenders and competitive people in their own right. So it's a good basketball team that beat us tonight. We got beat by a good basketball team. It's going to be, once again, there's 4 number ones in this tournament, and then the 5th team is Oregon State. And so you've got the 4th number one against the 5th number one, looking at each other here on not the 5th number one, but the next best team in the tournament, as the committee decided and put it up on the S curve. And you could correct me if I'm wrong out there, Leslie, but that's all private stuff, so you guys don't have to tell us any of that. But I mean, and Baylor's got big players too, all right, and Baylor's got great guard play too. So it should be a really, really good game on Monday night. And then those 2 teams are going to get to go to, one of the 2 teams is going to go to the Final Four in Indianapolis and look at Connecticut.
Question in the middle.
Coach, with the proficiency with which both of you, and particularly you in the second half, Oregon State seemed to cool off a little bit from beyond the arc. Was there, it seemed to me that no lead was completely safe. Was there any point at which you felt your team had a sense of being defeated, or was...
No, these teams, these players were working their butts off. I mean, when we had the 2 timeouts right around the media, you know, to get the 2 timeouts, to get us some rest in the 4th quarter, you know, we were chasing 10, we were chasing 5 baskets, and these players knew that we were chasing 5 baskets, and they never acted or felt, or, you know, there was no bad body language. This is a good group of people I'm coaching, and I'm blessed to coach good people. And when you're coaching good people, there was never any sense of quit or you know, when adversity hits people, they also often act out in negative ways, and there was no negative acting out. This is a good group of people that I coach. They really are special.
We got time for one more coach question.
There was going to be no questions, and then we got the mercy question, and now we got more questions. That's okay.
Anything else?
And thanks again to the city of Dallas and the Big 12 and all the people on the committee for all the hard work that you do to make this a great tournament. And, you know, it'll be a great game on Monday night. Thanks very much. Thanks for covering women's hoops.
Thank you, Coach. I didn't know that. We're now joined by the Oregon State Beavers, Coach Scott Ruick, his student athletes, Jamie Weisner, Sydney Weiss, and Ruth Hemblin. Coach, your thoughts about tonight's game?
Well, first off, it was an honor to coach against DePaul and get to play against that team. And Coach Bruno, who's become a friend, does just a phenomenal job. And that team is as hard to play against as anybody. Just the way they move the basketball, the way they shoot the basketball, the way all of them shoot the basketball. They had an answer tonight and got good looks against us, and we're a team that doesn't typically give many people good looks. And, and so I thought it was just a great basketball game. That's just teams answering each other back and forth. And so fun to be a part of, fun to prepare for, but a war for those 40 minutes. And so proud of this group right next to me, the team in the locker room. What a battle. And this team prepared all week like they have all year and got ready to play this game. And we understood that this was a team that was going to make runs at us. They're tough. They expect to win. They've battle tested. They've played everybody this year. Their schedule's unbelievable. And we knew it would be like it was. And I'm just really proud of this group for being as resilient as they were and finding a way to win. Jamie putting 38 up is something. Thought the team did an amazing job finding her and getting her the basketball. And so from a basketball standpoint, I thought it was just an amazing game, and what a special win for our program, certainly. Really impressed with Beaver Nation for traveling like they did and seeing so much orange in Dallas. What a blessing that is to have a following like that and fan support. They've been with us from the beginning, and from the beginning means a long time ago, not just this year. And that I'm as happy for them as I am, I think, for any of us. And so this was just a great day for us, a great win. Couldn't be more proud and excited that we get to continue on.
Okay, we're going to take questions for our student athletes first, please. And again, if you want all three, that's fine. Just be sure and tell us which one you're going to start with.
Breakfast and lunch today?
I think I just had eggs and oatmeal for breakfast, and lunch was normal pregame, some salad and pasta.
Your first 3 shots, and then you got going after that. I mean, were you nervous? What happened at the start, and then would you just feel like you were on today?
Yeah, just getting my rhythm to start with. There were kind of a couple of awkward shots, and then I just kind of settled in and found my rhythm, and then once I was hot, I just kept shooting.
Question on the aisle, and then we'll move to the front.
Sid and Ruth, can you just talk about what Jamie meant tonight? And on the biggest stage, she's done it all year, but to see her be able to step up and hit big shots almost every time you guys needed one, just what was that like being out there on the floor with her tonight?
It was awesome. She made my job easier, but I think another thing that she did really well was rebounding. She had a double-double tonight. And she's just not a scorer. She's an all-around basketball player, and she willed us to win tonight. And so to have a competitor and a teammate like that, it makes you want to work harder and to do more for her and for the team.
Exactly. She just kind of set the tone for us tonight, especially offensively, just making plays and hitting shots, and that just kind of was contagious for the rest of the team.
We got a question on the outside left. We'll come to the right.
Michelle Vogel from ESPNW. I guess it's for Ruth. When you're playing a team that executes offensively as well as DePaul does, and they hit 11 threes, and you're still able, to beat them by double digits, is a lot of that both your offensive execution, but also your ability, it looks like, to beat them on the boards? What do you think is the main thing to be able to beat, I guess, a team that executes that well?
Yeah, I think, they got a lot of 3 looks kind of that usually you don't get. You don't always see 5s that stretch the floor like that, but I thought that we were able to get into our plays and execute really well, and then also just defensively, we still made them take really hard shots when they did take other looks. So I thought we gave up the shots that we wanted to give up tonight in some regards.
Question on this outside right.
This question is for Ruth. Ruth, 6 points in the first half, but then 7 in the third quarter. Did you feel yourself get into a groove after the second half?
Yeah, just wanted to be more physical and demand the ball down low, and I think that the guards did a great job getting the ball to me in that third quarter there.
Outside left.
Jamie and Ruth, you guys have been here for 4 years, and this is the dream that you guys had to be on the stage. And I know you want to go farther, obviously, but what's it feel like right now to get to this point, to be one of the last 8 teams playing, and from when you guys got here to this point?
I think it's a lot of fun. I don't know. It's really cool to have all your hard work pay off and to be able to get to play at this level against the best. And this is what everyone wants, and it's just really cool to be a part of it, especially with this special group. I wouldn't want to be with anyone else.
Ditto. Yeah, it's fun and just enjoying every moment of it, and yeah, just keep working and keep going.
This will be the last question for our student athletes.
Jamie, Steve mentioned kind of just the big shots that you hit in the second half. Is that just something that you just know now when your team needs a big bucket, and that's kind of second nature when you're like, I need to make something happen if DePaul started making a little bit of a run?
Yeah, I think so. I'm always looking to score. That's my mentality, and I'm a shooter first, and I look for that, and then my teammates found me, and so when I need to hit those shots, and I do, and they find me.
Okay, ladies, congratulations on tonight's win. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon at the news conference.
Go Beavs.
We'll start right over here in the middle on the right-hand side, and then we'll come to the aisle.
Coach Lee Michelson, Hoopy. Could you speak to what you feel are the three most important factors in turning a program around the way you have at Oregon State over the last few years?
Well, I think the right people's number one. I think you have to build with character, and you have to build with people that share your vision, and that's what the people that just left the stage, we all have that in common. I think you have to be pretty courageous. There's a lot to overcome, and that's the interesting part of our story that nobody knows really anymore, is how hard it is to go. When Jamie and Ruth were freshmen, they lost 10 straight Pac-12 games, and we couldn't believe that Utah's shots missed the last couple minutes to get the one we won down the stretch of that season. That was just 4 years ago. To overcome all those mental hurdles of believing that you belong takes a lot of courage. You have to believe some things that aren't really believable. You have to believe in yourself and each other, and then I think the last one, I think you have to have a plan that works. I think you have to coach to that plan. I think you really have to know who you are, and so there's a core belief and a confidence. And going into this situation, I was fortunate enough to be a head coach for 14 years already, and had been through all those things. I knew myself well, and I knew what worked with me, and then I tried to find people that could help me continue that, and certainly it's been a progress, and it's changed. It hasn't been exactly like we hoped, but certainly this is beyond maybe even what I thought in year 6.
We got a question on the right, and then we'll go back to the left.
Can you elaborate, Scott, on Jamie's performance? Biggest game of her career, 38.
Yeah. Well, she's the ultimate competitor. So that's just, she gives everybody in the room confidence, and her confidence is earned. We all know what this individual, how she is, how she lives, why she can walk on the floor and say, okay, if my team needs me to have 38 tonight, I'll get it. And why, she hasn't just made shots lately. She's been making shots like that since her freshman year. And so when you have somebody that's willing to invest as much as she does, the confidence just oozes off you, and the ball's going in. You know it's going in, and you're shocked, and like we all are if she misses. Like, what? And so tonight, I think once we established a defensive presence, which took us a few minutes in this game, and we realized that, hey, we can slow 14 down, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go numbers, but 13 down, we can stick with 30, and we can stay with these players, and that it's going to have to be 35, and it's going to have to be 34, knocking shots down to beat us. Then that defense allows you to get in a groove offensively, and I think that's what you saw tonight from our entire group. Grant and Grays. We were going to make them have to beat us, and to their credit, my gosh, I was starting to think they could. The way they shot the ball in the first half, especially, and then opened up the third quarter. But Jamie's just confidence oozed off onto this team, and she's somebody that we know. She wants the ball, get it to her, and she's going to make a great decision with it, and usually that's shoot it.
We've got a question on the front, and we'll move over there.
to follow up on that, do you ever, as a coach, like ever step back and just, I don't want to say enjoy, but just you're just watching what she's doing, or are you so dialed into what the next play call is, what you're doing, that you don't even realize that she has 36 points?
Every day. Every day. How can you not love watching that? Every day. I mean, and just what a joy, to be around this person as a person, first off. I mean, she just brings this infectious energy to every situation, and you felt it in here just a minute ago, and that smile lights up the room, and she wears that smile every day. She's the same every minute, and then to get to watch her play and watch somebody that's their craft, it's what they do and who they are, it's her identity, not completely, but it's what she does. You just want to be around it, and so you'd be crazy not to just smile and enjoy it, and so there was a couple moments tonight where it made me smile. I'm on the sideline watching that ball go down, and I mean, we're under duress in this game, and it was never over. I mean, when they hit the 3 with 40 seconds to go, it's still 11, and they can score 11 points in 15 seconds, and so it's still a stressful situation, and you could still just take a moment and go, man, that's amazing. What I'm seeing is amazing. How many players in the country are like that? There's not very many, that can just do what they do at that level, no matter the circumstance.
Got a question on the outside, and then we'll come in the inside.
Scott, you talked about defensively. They hit some shots in the first half, and then in the third quarter they hit those first 2 threes, and then I think they had 2 points up until that free right at the buzzer in the final 9 minutes. Was there anything you guys did differently, or what did you kind of see that your team was able to do to kind of, get that, and then you guys were able to take a little bit of a lead that way?
For the night that nobody would know about. We played really well first half, and we shot really well, and we have 45 points on the board, and we're up 7. I mean, it reminded me of our UCLA game, Pac-12 tournament, where we came out, we're lights out. We're up 25 or 27 or something in that game. Tonight, we're up 7. And there's a little bit of in that. It's 7 points in this game felt like nothing, and against them it feels like nothing. And I was like, man, their top players haven't really done much yet, and yet their bench has kept them, and peripheral players. So I walk in the locker room, and I'm kind of like, hey, let's go. I mean, this is going to be a flat-out war second half. And I go, what are you guys feeling? And Jamie says, I think we can crank it up a notch. And that put, I think, everybody at ease, going, okay, there's another gear for us to hit. And I thought we had played a really good half. So anyway, when they hit those shots to start the second half, you just smile again. You're like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal, what we're watching tonight. Then our defense became, Ruth changed. We started pressuring Grant more. We got to the three-point line. We made her put it on the floor. Granted, it caused us a foul with Ruth. It cost us a couple fouls. But we picked up our intensity and pressured the 3. It's like, okay, if you're truly going to make those, we're going to truly have to come get you. And now Ruth is, you got 6'6" out on the three-point line, closing out like a guard. And Ruth is an amazing athlete. I've been waiting to see it, and we finally got to see it tonight. And so we got to talk to her about her hands a little bit when she's going to do that from here on.
This will be the final question for Coach this evening.
Coach, Oregon State now has developed a reputation, certainly within the Pac-12, not across the nation, for sharpshooting, marksmanship, and of course the rebounding with your size inside. But I think an argument could be made that tonight you won the game in part because of your ball handling skills, especially down the stretch when they brought the pressure, and the ability of your bigs even to successfully handle and pass out the ball. Is that a point of emphasis for you in practice? What do you do to really capitalize on those skills?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. That was a point of emphasis at the beginning of last year. And so it's been a 2-year progression. We got beat in the Pac-12 tournament championship game by USC 3 years ago now, and it was because we couldn't handle their press second half. We were up 7, everything was rolling, and then they pressed us, and we did not handle it very well. And so that was a focal point. And so since then, I've heard it as kind of a reputation, like Oregon State may not handle pressure. Even 2 weeks ago, Troy, they said that in their news conference. We don't think they like pressure. And so this team has taken that personal for a long time. And, that's something that I don't know if anybody's perfect at it, but it's something that we've really grown in. What Devin Hunter did tonight against the press was phenomenal at the 4 position. Marie Gulich can do the same thing. Samantha Signer, the same thing. And then certainly Sydney's an outstanding ball handler. Gabby does a phenomenal job. And that's one stat line that's pretty amazing tonight, in my opinion. 6 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 steals for Gabby tonight. That's a remarkable line. And then Jamie does a good job as well, and off the bench we have other people. And so it's something that we've really focused on in our conference. You have to, because of the athleticism throughout the Pac-12 that more and more people are getting to know recently. And so it's something that we've really worked on, and it's become, in my opinion, no longer a weakness, but maybe a strength.
Okay, Coach, congratulations, and we will see you tomorrow afternoon.
All right, thank you very much.
Just a reminder to you, Baylor will be here at 11 o'clock from 11 to 11:15, and Oregon State will be here at 1:10 from 1:10 to 1:25.